So I'm redesigning the characters for my animated shorts that I am working on. This comes from me just not liking their designs and realizing how two characters I have designed pretty much just look like the same exact person, but with different heads. Uh, their original design just it was boring, honestly. It was just a really long coat that covered everything. And I originally did that because I was not comfortable drawing an actual body for the character because that takes knowing some sort of anatomy generally, and I don't know anatomy to save my life. So I just did not do that. Sorry, I'm sick. And so I ended up with a very simple character design that I thought would just be easy to animate, which is just a character in a giant hoodie with one eye and no hands. He has hands, but you don't see him because they're under the giant hoodie. And that was the general character design because I was not comfortable drawing just anything that went along with the human body. This shit's weird. Anatomy is weird. And so I never drew that. But over time, I got more comfortable, so I decided to redesign the character just to give them something else in their design to set them apart, to make them look somewhat unique. Because sadly, every good character has a good silhouette. That's generally what I've been told by so many people, and I came to realize that my character's silhouette was just basic. There wasn't anything interesting or intriguing about it. It is just blob, basically. And that's good when your character is supposed to be like that. When your character's supposed to not stand out in any way, or you're supposed to have a character that doesn't do that, then having a silhouette that kind of blends into it just makes them look not unique is one thing, but I just didn't like it. I just did not like it, and so I changed it. I decided we were gonna keep the eye, keep pretty much everything how it was, but I was going to change the clothes. It was the clothes mostly. The hoodie I originally did for the character is less of a hoodie and it was originally supposed to be a scarf with a really long shirt they were wearing. I didn't like that idea either, and scarves just ended up being out of the question, but I still kind of needed something right there. And so I decided that we were just going to do. Sorry. I decided to give them an actual hoodie and an actual skirt this time because I thought that kind of fit maybe just a bit better than what fit before. I like the skirt idea under the hoodie because that's something I wear in real life and I really like an outfit like that because it's generally just really comfortable. This character still doesn't have shoes. I don't think I plan to give him shoes. I do plan to give him tail and possibly horns since they are supposed to be a demon, and I want them to have horns. My biggest issue with the horn designs was the fact that horns are hard for certain characters. My little demon dude here, they don't pull off horns at all. Any horn design I've tried has turned out pretty fucking shitty. I will say that. They've turned out horrible compared to what I really wanted. I have tried one large horn in the middle, I've tried two small horns, I've tried curvy horns, ram horns. everything I could possibly think of. And it just never fit. It never worked. And it disappointed me that that was the case, because I did want to add horns, and I do want to add horns. But it's the fact that no matter what I do, I can't find a horn placement that doesn't look weird. And I think that's mostly because of just the shape of their head and their hair. They don't have front hair, they only have back hair. I did that originally to make it easier to animate and draw, because I don't have to worry about two sets of hair moving, and so I can just worry about back hair only. That did not work, sadly. Sadly, it just ended up looking awkward in some places, where when the characters turn to the side, their hair kind of just shifts to the side of their head, because I don't know how to draw it like that. It's weird looking. And I will say that. I'll say that over and over again. It looks weird. And so at some point I'll probably end up changing that and giving them front hair again. But yeah, that's just generally the general basis of everything going on with this character right now and where they stand. If you want to support me, you can. Why am I talking about this right now? Later. But yeah, no. I changed their legs also to be thicker, because I just kind of wanted that. This character's original design, like their original design, before anything was ever like somewhat finalized, before I even animated the character, was horrible. Genuinely. They didn't have any arms. At one point I gave them floating hands, and I hated that so much, because I just can't draw hands very well. I can draw clawed hands, but not normal hands. I can't draw 5 fingers, and it's hard. And so I just kind of scrapped that design, and I changed it to the current one with the hoodie that covers their whole body. And now I'm changing it again. If you look in the drawing there, horns do not work. God. Tails do. I like tails. Tails are easy to pull off on characters because they're pretty simple. If you know what your character is, then a tail isn't that hard. It's not. Animating it is the hard part, though, sadly, since I can't make tails move smoothly for the life of me. Still figuring that out. But yeah, if you look, I tried to go with a middle horn placement. I tried to go with a side horn placement. I tried to even make them into ears at one point. Nothing I do really makes the head just, I don't know, better. So I think I'm just gonna have to give them front hair, which I did not want to do, because I do not want to figure out how that would look, especially since their head is a square. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Their head being a square. That was done to just save time while drawing, because the original character design, they've kept their square head this whole time. Originally, I had the square head in order to make it just easier to draw, and I had originally just been doodling, and I had just done a random shape for the head and started doing the eyes, and so I just gave him one giant eyeball, because I'm pretty sure at some point I was watching a show and a character just had a one giant eyeball, and I like cyclopses and things like that, so I just did that. And it just kind of became the basis and grounds of something that would make them recognizable as a character. Yeah. That's just the basic design for them, pretty much. There isn't... now we can move on to the next character's design. So, this character was originally supposed to be an angel, and I wanted their clothes to just represent modesty in general. They were covered up, they did not show themselves, and I wanted that to be the general basis. And it never came through with this character. Anytime I would draw them or animate them, they felt so plain that it just made me sad. I wanted this character to be modesty, but they kind of just came off at some point looking really boring, and that made me just so disappointed in their design. Also, as an angel for their design, they have no wings. They have one halo, but their design is so similar to the demons that it's kind of just a very boring design. I basically just took the demon's design and switched out the head is all I did with it. And that made me angry. I love the long, I don't know, robe, I guess. I think it's supposed to be a robe, generally speaking. That's what I imagined it to be, I'm pretty sure. And that just never really came through. I decided that I was just going to change the halo on the head to be what I'm pretty sure is called an Ophanum type look for like the biblically accurate angel type look. I gave them one giant eye in the middle still, and I just needed to figure out if I wanted to do a long coat for the bottom or a shorter one, and wanted to change something up about the bottom or not. Because I really like the long robe idea. It's just really everything else just didn't sit right with me because nothing interesting was ever going on with the head. And I didn't know exactly what to do about that. It was all just a really boring and plain design in general, in my opinion, and I wanted to change that and see what else I could do with it. So in the end, I gave them a long robe still, and I kept that pretty samey, but I also decided to switch their arms out with wings. When this design is official, I plan to have their wings have like little hooks on them, kind of like how bats have like their claws, or how like some dragons in fantasy will have like claws on the ends of their wings and stuff. And that's how I really want that to work. It took me a bit to remember that I don't know how to do that, and so I was not going to try. I also changed the design of the legs. I wanted them to be more animal-like for some reason. That was just a thought that came into my mind to make them more animal-like. And I just added a bit more bumps and definition to some parts of the leg, which I think generally helped speaking when it came down to it. I do really like this design in general, and it makes me really happy. I like the wings, and I like the addition of the wings, because that's something that I think is just angelic in nature, are those large angelic type wings. And I wanted to try and mix some animalistic features in, such as, like I was saying, the bat-like hooks on the wings where they're supposed to be claws or something, which will be added. I just need to figure out how to draw them first. The legs having more definition, and things like that. I do want to give this character back their mouth, though. And I want that to be the case because having two characters that don't really have mouths, or two characters where I want to keep mouths covered up, just doesn't feel okay. And it feels boring. And I don't like that, so they'll probably end up getting a mouth again, is my assumption. But for now, this is just their base design. This is just the angel. There wasn't major changes. Like with the demon, there wasn't any major changes there, but I just wanted a more unique looking body. With the angel, I just wanted him to look kind of unique from the demon. Because, like I said before, they're just kind of copy and pasted when it came to their designs, and it didn't make me happy. And I didn't like it, so I changed it. And I'm really happy I changed it because in the end, this design comes off better to me than the other ones. The only issue will be animating it, which I plan to actually change up from 2D animation possibly to a different kind. If not, then this is just be annoying to animate, but I don't care. I like the design, and it's the wings that are mostly the issue for animation for me, but other than that, I like the design. It is genuinely my favorite design. Now, the design before this was the Angel's original design that I hadn't actually changed at all, and I never planned to change. But I guess I got, like I said before, I didn't like it. Looked too samey from the demons and wasn't anything unique. And so I think these changes were necessary. And I think they complement the character way better. Uh, One of the things that was added again was the changing of the robes. They changed the way they look to where they now have like buttons on them, to where the robes can be unbuttoned. And I put that there because I just kind of thought of how would they get their wings through that? Like that would be annoying. So I thought, okay, buttons, they can button it. They button it in the front and it just buttons up. The simplest way to do things, I'm pretty sure. And that was pretty much it. While I sit and doodle this last design for a random human character, I want to say please like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out. Not a lot of people are subscribed compared to the people who actually watch. So, yeah. Another thing is if you want to support me, then feel free to go check out my Ko-Fi page where you can support me on there. And please go and support me here. You can support me on YouTube by doing things such as becoming a member or just, I don't know how the other things work on here exactly, but even then, just watching the video through is enough to support me and this channel. So if you really are enjoying this and you really do enjoy my channel in general, then I urge you to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell and comment. Uh, Also, I'm just real excited about working on this. I got my drawing tablet finally working for it. So now animating doesn't have can be done on my computer. And I am just excited for it. So please again like, subscribe, go and support me on other places. I'm also going to link my TikTok down below where I don't really post on there much, but what I do post is going to currently be directed towards more art-based stuff, so you can see my art. You can also commission the art that you see. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Uh, Bye, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.